Hello out there. We're on the air. It's MoPac morning here at the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, where it is semifinals action in both the men's and women's club playdowns. This is your host Ryan Olson with you as we bring you coverage from the feature sheets. Matchup between Team Leclerc of Coyotes and Team Tate, also of Coyotes. Made a quick change. I guess it looks like in the order of teams that were on the sheets. So I previously posted on our Facebook a different game, but this is the featured game, Leclerc versus Tate. And it looks like Tate is starting the game off with the hammer. Looks like traded some hits here as the first for Leclerc delivers his second rock. It's been a fascinating weekend so far. The skill level, or just like in terms of like the quality of play, was just superb last night. And if you were able to tune in, it was a great match. And if not, I hope you I hope you get to check it out on the replay. So it looks like plays drawn into the house here early. Looks like they're kind of trading hits, although it looks like there may have been a bit of a miss with that last Leclerc stone. This next threat coming from Team Tate's first, Sean Aronson. He's been curling for 7 years, was in the 2018 MoPac Club Nationals Playdowns, was finishing as a runner-up. So these are Coyotes teams on the sheet. There's a lot of Arizona teams on the ice for this semifinals in both the men's and the women's. We will let you know who the teams are and keep you updated around the rings as the game progresses. The sun was out and shining beautifully as we were coming into the club today, so it's a wonderful day for curling. I was going to say soccer, but it's a wonderful day for curling, and I'm very happy to have you guys with us for this game. That was the first stone from Leclerc's second, Jeff Baird, and now Tate's second. Josh Lewis gets set in the hack. He's been curling for 21 years. Going back to 2004, he was a college curling champion and was a MoPac men's champion in 2015. A lot of these Coyotes teams have a solid amount of experience. They were definitely putting on a bit of a series of excellent games here at this Playdowns. And the result of the Coyotes club's excellent play means that there are, I believe, 6 teams of the 12 remaining. So just a really strong showing there. This is the second for Team Leclerc. This is Jeff Baird, 2017 National Bonspiel champions. Looks like he's going to be able to take out the yellow shot rock and roll to the center. So it looks like they're, again, just kind of moving rocks around the house here early in the game as Lewis gets set to deliver his second rock here. So going to go through the teams that are on the ice, the games that are on the ice. And in between ends, we will be going around the ring, so letting you kind of see the action happening on the other sheets as Lewis delivers a nice hitting soft roll just to the back forefoot. This is the third for Leclerc. This is Fred Maxey, a former Brier participant back in 1994. Just talking with him last night, and he was just talking about what a wonderful, unique experience it was. And oh goodness me, it looks like this is going to just slip past the or just passed by the yellow. So it leaves an opening for Tate to split the rings there and really make it kind of amp up the pressure on Leclerc here in the early going. As Gary McKnight gets ready to deliver his first stone. Right. All right, catching up on the action here. It looks like Leclerc was able to hit the Tate stone off the wings and rolled just outside the 12 foot. So that means Leclerc decided to put another counter in. So now Leclerc is sitting, sorry, Tate is sitting two as Leclerc goes to the hatch. It looks like I think they're going to do a takeout on the shot stone there, just to the right of the button, as pardon me, as Bob Leclerc pushes out of the hack. Swifters jump on it pretty early. It's definitely important to make sure it doesn't over curl, as sometimes rocks do tend to do going down this path. Looks like he's got it though. He does. He hits and rolls. Um, it is kind of setting up for a deuce for Tate, depending on what Leclerc does for his last. But it looks like maybe Leclerc might be happy to perhaps just give up a two for Tate, as Tate's played really well so far in this game. Let's see here. Sean Tate is getting set in the hack here. Sean Tate's been curling for 19 years. Was the 2019 Club Nationals as a runner-up, but also went to the 2013 Club Nationals. I'm curious about how he was able to do that. I should probably ask him when he gets off the ice. Calling for curl. It is curling up, so it looks like it's there. It looks like it's going to be, ooh, interesting. So it hit, was not a nose hit. It kind of rolled towards the yellow on the left side of the bottom previously. But there's not a double there. And so I definitely think that Leclerc, as he puts the broom down, wants to get rid of that second stone. Maybe hoping for a little bit of a roll just to make it a little bit harder for Tate to score two. I think that's kind of what they're going to do. I think they're going to hit the yellow just to the left of the left side of the rock, so it rolls semi-protected in the 12-foot. And then all Tate has to do is draw 4-2, but it makes it a little bit harder. And this is the last shot for Leclerc in the first. He also went to the Briar. There's at least 3 curlers here at the tournament that have been to the Briar, and being at the Canadian National Championship is a great accomplishment. And that I'm sure they have got great stories to tell. And so Leclerc noses that Tate yellow out, and so now it looks like, based on where the broom is, that all Tate wants to do is hit that blue out, stick around, and then they have to take the deuce with a hammer here in the first end. So interesting, well played initial ends as Sean Tate comes out of the hat here. Looks like a pretty control weight there, calling for curl. Looks like he is curling. I need just a look. Looks pretty solid, right on the schnoz. That's good for 2, as Tate does maximize the hammer here to start things off in the men's semifinal at the 2023. It's 2022, 2023 men's and women's club playdowns. We will be back in just a moment, as we are going to go around the rings and see how the other semifinals are going. One sec. So the scoreboard graphics are not up to date. We will cross our fingers that does that in a bit. We're looking around the rings. We have 4 sheets in play at the San Francisco Bay Area's club here, where they have 5 sheets of really excellent ice, especially for a club just starting out in dedicated ice. San Francisco has been around for over 60 years, so they're not a new club. It looks like on sheet 1 we have a women's semifinal between Team Camarena from San Francisco and Team Aubrey from Coyotes. Camarena has the hammer and the Red Rocks. No score posted through 1. Sheet 2 is our feature game between Team Leclerc and Team Tate of Coyotes. And as we mentioned, Tate does have that 2-0 lead over Leclerc to start things off. Tate with the Yellow Rocks. And on sheet 3, the other women's semifinal is Team Walsh from San Francisco Bay Area with the Red Rocks and the Hammer taking on Team Burton from Coyotes, the defending champions. No score posted through 1. One looks to be finishing up, or they just finished it. Oh no, 1's still in progress. And on sheet 4, end 2 is underway. It is Team Satan's, the defending champions, taking on Team McBride out of Hollywood. Team McBride has the hammer, and we'll see what scores they. As always, all the scores are being posted throughout the weekend, thanks to volunteers. The scores are at bonspieler.com. Bonspieler.com. It's like spider, but the words rearranged. Bonspieler. All right. So, shifting back to our feature game action here. One moment, please. So I'm saying I can't quite see the action here. Let's see here. Our screen might be frozen. I'll try to get that back. So it does appear that our software has crashed. I'm going to see what we can do to get things back. It really helps when you take the microphone off of mute. Uh, so as I said in the chat, and I'll say it again here, we had a technical glitch with the software and just had to restart the app. It was a really easy fix. Sorry for any inconvenience, but we are back here as Gary McKnight does deliver his first stone. First of third rocks there. Just looking to put up the rock in the top of the house or a biter or a tight guard, and that's what it turns out to be in this case, a tight guard. Leclerc has a hammer, so I'm sure he's kind of thinking about how he's going to get perhaps multiple points in this end as he puts the broom down for, I think, kind of like a hit, maybe a gentle roll. He comes out because there was a call for, I think, less ice, if I heard that correctly. And this is Fred Maxey getting set in the hatch. Good release. Sweepers are on it early. This is going to be more of a guard. It looks like I don't think that's the weight they wanted. Although it looks like it's carrying a good amount. So that's looks really good actually. And it's going to be a pretty nice, not quite a freeze, just a soft tap. It's going to be pretty hard for Tate to get that rock out. And so he's looking at just sitting on top of it, reducing the storing area, and I think also kind of pushing Tate to kind of turn up the pressure and increase the difficulty of the shot. I think he was also kind of initially looking at maybe looking at a roll of some sort, but I think they're just going to draw down to it. As McKnight gets set in the hack. In addition to being at the Northern Ontario Tainter back in the 90s, he was the 2016 and 17 Desert Ice champion That's a championship put on by Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona, and it was also the runner-up for the 2018 MoPac Club Nationals Playdowns. So, and it looks like sweepers were off on it, but then they went off, and it looks like it's going to over curl or under curl just a little bit. Tap the blue back onto the yellow that was in the back four. The blue actually kind of rolls to the back four for second shot, I believe. Although the houses are not, well, first of all, this camera is not entirely, it's not precise. The view can be a bit deceiving. And then also, the houses are a little stretched in one dimension. I don't know how noticeable it is, but the teams were advised that with these very nice low-row houses that were put into the ice, they were kind of stretched in one way. I think stretched out along the T-line axis. But the pin is true, and the houses are also true along one axis. So if there ever is a question about whether a rock is closer, if it comes to a measure, people have been kind of advised to exercise, just to be careful, be cautious, try to think of the right words. It's Sunday morning. They're not discretion, though. And it looks like Leclerc put up a tight shot touching the 12-foot. I think they really wanted it to come in, perhaps. But it does block kind of an angle raise, perhaps, by Tate. And so now Tate is looking at the other side of the house the vice has the room down as Tate gets set in the hack. And Sean Tate, he's been curling for 19 years. He was at the 2013 MoPac Club Nationals as a runner-up. He also was a runner-up in 2018. I think I did mention that initially, but it may or may not have made the broadcast, so there we go. As Sean Tate delivers his first rock here in the second end. Time to update the graphic. And I think it looks like he's just drawing in or putting up a guard. I think the guard is the miss. He does draw in, and this looks to be maybe a little heavy as Maxi sweeps to it, and so I would say it's just a slight miss. I think the line looked pretty good. I don't know if he wanted to draw in on top of the button, but it does give Leclerc options as Leclerc talks it over with his vice. Actually taking a look around the rocks in the play there. And I think they're going to try and maybe draw in. I think the best call perhaps is to maybe kind of get around that center guard. There's a center guard. Go to the top 4 foot. See if you can wrap it around the center yellow there. As Bob Leclerc delivers his first with a hammer in the second. Sweepers are just kind of escorting it down like bodyguards from the movie starring Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. I forget the name of the movie. I'm joking, of course, it is The Bodyguard. And very interesting situation here in the back of the house. There is just a delightful pocket for Sean Tate to draw into. That is what is set up. I was thinking, could they throw heat at this and kind of, there's no blast scenario though, especially with that center guard. So it looks like they're just going to try and draw into the pocket and really amp up the pressure for Leclerc to get even a single here in this end. Right now, it looks like it is Leclerc sitting 1, and after this, it is perhaps going to be Tate sitting shot. So this event started with a great number of teams. We had 18 men's teams and 8 women's teams, one of the largest fields we've had in quite some time. And it's really kind of amped up the excitement here because there's just so many teams, so many clubs here at this event. And if you ever have a chance to participate, it is I think an interesting, worthwhile experience. And oh my goodness, this is hanging out wide, and misses most of everything. It does kind of make contact with a yellow in the back 8, but those were not, you key stones in this end. So now Leclerc is sitting 1. It could be 2. There might be a measure. Just it's hard to really tell based on this overhead. And I'm curious about what they're lining up here in terms of the shots. Lining up a shot for like a run back, and I mean, I think it's kind of dangerous. It seems to be a high risk shot here as Leclerc looks to line things up. Um, I'm curious about what I think they're trying to angle raise the center yellow and basically kind of angle it back so it's getting the edge of that yellow that's on the forefoot. And here we go. This is a key shot coming early in the game for Bob Leclerc. Uh, no sweeping. Massey calls him off. Uh, okay, the way it's curling, it's going to chip off it's going to wick the center. Oh my goodness. That is uh, that is a bit of a pinball action there from Bob Leclerc. It wicks the guard and then makes impact with another stone and then just rolls into the top of the forefoot for at least 2. So just a fascinating shot there by Bob Leclerc. Um, at some point, we definitely want to get instant replay on our on the system because I would love to see that shot again. My goodness. Uh, so as they put on the board, that is 2 for Leclerc. So we are all square here through 2, heading into the third end at the 2023 men's and women's club playdowns. We'll be back in just a moment. Live streaming to this and other regional competitions is powered by the 18 clubs and 1,500 members of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Our mission serves to grow curling and foster competition in Arizona, California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Utah. Visit mopacca.org today to find a curling club near you or for help getting one started in your community. So taking a trip around the rings here, looks like the scoreboard sort of updated. But again, live scores are on bondspieler.com. What's the spiel? Bondspieler.com. So it looks like on sheet 1, Camarena started with a hammer, but Aubrey from Coyote stole 2 in the second to take a 2-0 lead over Camarena from the Bay Area Curling Club. On sheet 2, it is our feature game between Leclerc and Tate. It says we are all square. Bonspieler looks like they goofed, but they'll fix that quickly. Sheet 3 is the other women's semifinal. It has been all Burton, all monsters so far with the Red Rocks over Team Walsh from this Bay Area Curling Club. Burton has a 5-0 lead, and they're playing with the Redstones. And on sheets 4, the defending champions out of Coyotes, Team Siggins, is in a 1-1 tie with Team McBride from Hollywood. And McBride has a hammer in the third. And so that brings you up to date on the scores. Again, they are all on bondspieler.com. Let's get you caught up on the action here on our feature sheet. Looks like Leclerc put up a high center guard, and Leclerc tried to go around it, ended up putting up another center guard of his own. You can see that if it is a center guard, and looking at the overhead view here, it is on the center line in the guard zone. There is a no tick rule in effect for this tournament, as part of the top flight competitive rules that were developed and enacted by World Curling Federation, then subsequently USA Curling and Curling Canada and others. So we're following that same rule. The no tick rule means that for the first 5 stones at the end, an opponent cannot move a stone off of the center line. If they do so, that's a rule violation, and that means that the non-offended team can choose to remove the offending stone and reset the original stone, or or just kind of let it play out. And so we've seen it happen a couple times, and it happened on our feature sheet Friday night. And the skip of the Utah Olympic Oval curling team, the Team Pomeroy, decided to say, hey, it's okay, and left the rocks where they had played out. This net stone coming from Aronson, it looks like they're going to draw toward the center guard there. It looks like they're going to wick off of it and spill them both into the house. The initial yellow that was in the house is now well covered, and so now it looks like Leclerc is looking at maybe like a hit and roll there, asking Jeff Baird to dial that up. Jeff was a 2017 senior national bonspiel champion and was winner of McCall's, Coyotes, Missoula, and St. Louis bonspiels. And here is the shot coming. It looks pretty close. Sweepers saying, Leclerc says no sweep. And it looks like he's going to get one. The roll, Leclerc sweeping it to the, he started to and stopped. So it's undercover now. Actually it looks pretty open from the head-on view. And so Aronson wants to make a play on that blue stone on the left wing there. This is a side of the house that has been tricking teams, a little tricky path there where they tend to fall out. And, he and his team were kind of talking it out a little bit as Josh Lewis gets set. So it looks like they are going to hit the blue out. Definitely important to see how this line goes. Because throughout the tournament, although it was better Saturday, that rocks that are played away on this side tended to stay wide or fall out. And this is kind of a little wide, but it's going to make contact there. The blue rolls out through the house, and the shooter rolls to the side out of play. So well managed there by Lewis and Team Tate. So now Leclerc wants to draw around this kind of the center pile there. And this is Baird's second. Sweepers are going, definitely making sure that it has, I'm pretty sure the line, it has plenty of line, I think plenty of curl. Needs to curl up just a little bit more as they're getting it toward the button there. So it looks like good weight, maybe just a little more ice than needed, as it is pretty open. It's entirely open for, I think this is Lewis's last here. Excuse me a moment. So it is open. It looks like Tate would like Lewis to just hit it and maybe hit it just a little to the left of the center so it can roll under cover. Trying to get to curl. And looks like they're off now as this is going to just sail right on by like a doo-wop band, a doo-wop group from the 60s. Just kind of sail on by. I've been talking all weekend, so I probably shouldn't try to sing. But what it looks like Leclerc is going to try to do is put up a center guard or maybe tight to the rings. And this is Fred Maxey's first. Sweepers are on it. Looks like it needs to come back a decent amount. Needs to curl, but also they want to make sure it gets over the line there. So it does get over the line. It is curling up. It needs about another. Needed. It's actually finishing really well, as it does finish about a quarter rock off the center line. And Tate, seeing not an easy path to the button there, is opting to clear the guards. And obviously, that's a really sound strategy. I mentioned throughout the weekend that there is a podcaster about curling who says that you can never go wrong clearing a guard, and that is what McKnight and Team Tate have opted to do. I think just a appeal. So it peels the blue center guard that was closer, the one that Maxi just put up, and so it makes it a pretty easy decision for Bob Leclerc as he just puts the broom down right where he had it before. Maybe just a smidge less ice, but not too much. And get set. You can see in the background there are computer monitors. Our clocks to time the games. The monitor that's on our sheet has a Windows system screen. So that means that we're having a technical glitch on the ice as well, unfortunately. And so we'll see what they'll do. I can maybe ask what they do in a situation where the clocks don't work. I think they just kind of are on the honor system to just play as speedily as possible. And then maybe, hopefully, someone's timing, and then when they get a clock, they can resume. Or, maybe agree by kind of a gentleman's or sportsmanlike consent to say, hey, at the end of a certain end, we're supposed to have so much time remaining, so we might restart the clocks. I don't know. I'll see what I can find out when I have a chance. As Tate asks McDonald once again to peel a guard. Just nice releases. It's really great to have this video so you can watch people's deliveries. Some people have different deliveries. There's no one perfect delivery. But that was a pretty perfect peel there by Gary McKnight. I said McDonald earlier. It's Gary McKnight. I apologize. Good morning, Micah, on the chat. Good morning, everyone, as well. It's great to have such a great crowd of people here watching this. We had a great crowd at the club. If you ever have a chance to come on down, highly recommended. And so with McKnight clearing that guard, Leclerc gets into the hack and is just going to put the guard back up. Leclerc does not have the hammer in the situation, so he's just controlling that center zone there. This is a textbook curling advice, a curling strategy. And talking about curling strategy, one of the people who wrote the book, or a book about curling strategies on the ice, is Gabrielle Coleman. She's playing as an alternate for Team Camarera, and they're on sheet 1, facing a tough game against Team Aubrey. We'll give you an update on that in a moment. So this guard looks like it needs to finish just a little bit more. Actually, not too bad. Really good. It has that stone. Leclerc doing a little bit of mini hop. I don't think he's mad as he was exchanging fist bumps with his front end there. That rock is pretty well covers the shot stone. There could be a run back there. That seems to be what Tate is lining up, just based on they have their brooms and they're kind of pointing at each other. They're not, doing friendship taps with their brooms. They're trying to look at angles. And so it looks like they're trying to do a run back. This is if we were on my club nights on arena ice, this would be a long run back. But for teams the caliber of Tate and Leclerc, this is a medium length run back at most, arguably. So we will see if they got the angle set as Tate gets set himself here. Also, kind of looking at the odds here, I mean, even if it's not a perfectly made shot, it will probably move the blue rock out of the way. So it does help open up the center of the house and hopefully allowing Tate at least a draw to the end here. So it looks like it's got one. and it got them both. Would you look at that? So well done. If we were scoring that, that would be a 4 out of 4 in the scoring system that we use to rate shots. Uh, Sometimes some systems allow a bonus point. That might be a bonus point. I've never done scoring, so I don't know how much you want to do a bonus point. However, that does change things up. Leclerc is no longer shot. Tate sitting 1, and so Leclerc now facing 1 yellow undercover, I think, is opting to draw around back to the button there as he delivers his last in the third end without hammer. Sweepers jump on it. They're saying great line, so they just need to make sure that it has the weight. Now they're calling off. And this looks to be called him off because the line over curled. And so just a bit unfortunate there. Maybe he pulled the string a little bit. Or maybe needed just a little bit more ice. But now Tate has 1 in the hand, trying to go over to that 2 in the bush. And, unlike that adage, where you don't go after 2 in the bush, seems to be a really strong chance for 2. And you're not going to lose that bird in hand. That bird in hand is there. He's just looking for that second bird in the bush. And the bush in this case is all 12 feet of this curling circle. So he has not a wide open shot, but he has a wide open house to get to. But there is some clutter around the center. He wants to make sure he gets around and avoids for his 2. So David in the chat does point out the bond spieling situation. I'll go ask them to double check the score during the end break here. So Tate just needs to touch paint to get 2, and it's slowing down. Matt I think he's trying to polish the ice a little bit to see if he can usher it out. And my goodness, he is going to escort it from the premises, and that's just a single for Tate here. So just a well-played and just a little too much mustard for Tate to lose that second stone. The score is correct now. I'm sure Bonspieler will get it right in a second, I hope. But if not, I'll double check. But when we come back, it is going to be Leclerc with a hammer heading into the 4th end of this 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club semifinal. We'll be right back. Okay, before we return to our feature sheet action, just a real quick trip around the rings. It looks like on sheet 1, the women's semifinal between Team Camarena of San Francisco going up against Team Aubrey of Coyotes. Aubrey has that 2-0 lead after Camarena blinked another end. That's her second blink of the game. Team Leclerc and Team Tate of Coyotes, both the Coyotes on sheet 2 are our men's feature game. It is a 3-2 Tate. Tate playing with the Yellow Rocks. On sheet 3, it's all monsters so far. It's a monster mash. Team Burton, a.k.a. the Monsters from Coyotes, the defending champions, has a 5-0 lead over Team Walsh from the Bay Area Curling Club. Burton playing with the Red Rocks. And then on sheet 4, the men's defending champions, Team Siggins, scored a single in the second to tie things up with Team McBride from Hollywood. McBride has the hammer and the red rocks in the third. And so, and actually, it looks like they're coming home. Actually, all these teams are coming home, so we will have more scores in a moment. But in the meantime, let's return to our feature sheet action here, where rocks are in play. The rock coming down here. I'm going to say this jokingly. I know we kind of miss some lead stones when we do around the rings. I like playing leads, so I definitely like seeing lead stones. And I can kind of sort of feel for the TV broadcasters that try to find space to air all this information. It's been fascinating to be here for the broadcast. I've been broadcasting with MoPac. This is my second year, and yeah, I think it's really taken off this year. Just a lot of more followers, viewers are really great, and I'm just very glad to kind of showcase all these teams and all these clubs because curling it really is growing in our area, and it's really great to kind of showcase what we have to offer with MoPac and what Leclerc has to offer here. It looks to be a draw around that corner guards on the left wing there, and it looks like it is a made shot. Someone was asking in the chat if there's a way to show more around the rings views. I will do my best. I do try to do it in between ends, and but I do say that the best way to get updates is to kind of keep an eye on bondspieler.com because we have to make a choice here in terms of how we broadcast games, and I think we generally kind of feel that focusing on one game is best overall, just for showcasing the game and offering a good product for our viewers. So I'll do my best to get back to around the rings, but we're going to stay on our featured game. And of course, one of the nice things about this setup here at Bay Area is that we can switch to sheet one. So it looks like Tate. That's what happened there. So Tate kind of kicked the shooter away, even though it hadn't really passed through the house, and because it's a 5 rock rule violation. That was the 5th rock of the end, and so the corner guard goes back up, and the shooter is lost, at least for this end. And I know we've heard of people losing their marbles. I don't know if we've heard of people losing their rocks when it comes to curling. There are some fascinating stories about rocks being lost during shipping incidents. Apparently, in the early 1900s, there was a shipwreck. I guess it was a ship coming to Canada, and the ship sunk. A lot of property was lost, including several sets of several sets of stones that were meant for a curling club up in Canada. So people have lost their rocks before, but hopefully they won't lose their rock in this game. So it looks like Leclerc wants to trying to draw around, but it is around. It's going to just sail on by there. So that's another miss. Teams are trading misses in this end. But that shot stone in the back 8 there is open. Not open. It's about half open. So Tate is going to make a play for it, asking Josh Lewis to be Karl Malone, and Karl Malone delivers. Who takes out the trash? Like Karl Malone, like someone's a garbage man, but this analogy is not working out. We're going to move on. As Josh Lewis delivers his second rock here. These are 8-end games of regulation. Teams can choose to resign early if they feel like the game's out of hand. This is going to wreck on the guard, but that's what the guard was there for. So mission accomplished. And for Tate, it does clear the guard, and so it changes the equation a little bit here. As Bob Leclerc is looking kind of going to a different part of the ice, looking to split the rings at this point. He is kind of pointing to the forefoot. I think now he wants to kind of draw play to the middle, and as Jeff Baer delivers his second stone here in this 4th end. Line looks pretty good, although the rocks have been curling really nicely. It is a looks like it got around. Oh, it did tick the guard. Um, so it provides a kind of a high corner guard for Leclerc. I don't know if that's what he wanted. I don't think so. And so now that Leclerc shot zone is open, and Tate is going to go for it with Jeremy Knight's first here. Looks like a nice control weight there. Sweepers are on it. I think trying to coach it over a little bit. Yes, definitely coaching it because it looks like it's going to come and hit it just to the left of the center, and it's going to roll out of the rings, at least from this view, from the overhead. And so now Leclerc can pretty much ignore that. Um, it could come back into play later in the end, although it would be a very interesting scenario if it did. So it looks like Leclerc's looking for some draws, and Leclerc choosing the option to draw around his own corner guard, which makes sense. Uh, Guards are good, and you could draw around an opposing team's corner guard, but that is not recommended. So if you have a choice to go between the opposing team's guard and your own guard, dollars to donuts, you probably should go around your own guard. And this is Fred Maxey's first. Fred Maxey was also at the Brier in 1994. He's also a seven-time mixed nationals participant, and he does tick off the guard, unfortunately, there. So, having a hard time, I guess, trying to find the right line around these guards here in the fourth end of this semifinal game. It looks like just based on the broom that Tate is giving, I'm going to guess that they're going to maybe try and guard that shot stone because it's pretty well covered. Um, they don't want to run the blue onto the yellow because that would kick the yellow out into the open for Leclerc to attack. This is McKnight's second stone. So it looks like the line is really good. It looks like it's going to get into the house there. If it, it crashes on the guard, the blue guard that Maxey just put up, I believe. So just a bit of a mess there. This is a very tricky situation also because Tate could bump that yellow in for a second shot or to be another counter. Leclerc's kind of looking it over. Um, there could be an angle double, perhaps, just kind of based on the size of that port as the shot's underway here. Oh, I think I know what he's doing. He wants to angle that blue back onto the yellow. That's the shot that I thought that he didn't want to do. Does get rid of the yellow, and the blue does roll open. So that, if Tate had done that shot, that's possibly what would have happened, which is almost certainly why Tate didn't do that. That blue is open. It's a shot stone, and so Tate is looking at taking that out. I think maybe looking to try and roll under the cover to the right here on this shot. He and looks like Sean Aronson holds the broom for him. So he and Aronson are talking it over. Looks like Team Sidians is taking their 5-minute fourth end break. Or they're all going to the bathroom at the same time. I don't know. But Aronson has the broom down for his skip. I think I think they're definitely going to try and do a hit and roll here. If they nose hits, that's not, I think, a bad miss, because the nose hit would still stay in the range and really force Leclerc to take it out, and it would be hard for Leclerc to get any sort of roll into the house. So swinging for line here. It looks like it's taking off on them a little bit. So it does roll. Well, hits the blue, and it does roll under cover. So a little bit of yelling enthusiasm, but mission accomplished by Sean Tate and his rink from Coyotes. We don't call teams rinks enough, I say. So now it looks like Leclerc with his first is going to try and double those out. Kind of a clearing action. I think possibly trying to set up a blank to carry the hammer into the fifth end here. And like I said, if this was my lead team on Mondays, this would be a tricky shot before teams like Tate and Leclerc. This is in their wheelhouse, and we will see if, like Karl Malone, Bob Leclerc is going to deliver here in the fourth end. I got that analogy in. Hey. This looks really close. He's going to do one. He just chips the second. He's going to chip the second onto the button. It is somewhat open, so I'm going to guess that Tate's going to try to guard it, perhaps. Although there's a couple ways to get to the button, so it's going to be interesting to see which way he blocks. But they're looking to block the most obvious path in curling, as a lot of you guys know watching on the stream, that you want to take the easier shot and leave the other team the harder shot. So they're kind of looking to guard that direct path to the shot stone. And I think going into like the top 12 foot would be a good place to end up. Or they could freeze it on even, perhaps. I don't think you want to give Bob Leclerc a double. So that's why I'm saying I'm suggesting to try and keep it higher up toward the house. And the miss would be to be in the guard zone. So Sean Tate gets set in the hack. Nice release there. Just cleaning right now. Definitely looking for a guard. Needs to make sure it gets in the right place. Aronson calls him off. Now, you're trying to push it over a little bit. Looks like it's going to rest in the top 12 foot. So that's where I wanted it, and it looks like that's where Tate wanted it too. So good shot. And now Leclerc faces a tough shot, and I'm curious about what he's going to do. I think they are going to try and double those stones out, perhaps for two. The level of difficulty, again, is pretty high. He's going to have to hit the yellow on just probably about halfway between the center and the right edge of the rock to angle it back to the shot stone, and then with enough force to get both those yellows away. And so here it is, a very key shot, another key shot for Bob Leclerc here in the fourth. Looks pretty close. We're going to get one, and that's it. So it's a steal of one for Sean Tate and his rink heading into the fourth end here. Bob Leclerc is going to carry the hammer into the fifth end with the score 4-2 Tate over Leclerc. We are going to be back in just a moment, but before we take a full break, let's go around the rings. So looking around the rings, several teams are on their end break, the fourth end break. Looks like on sheet one, I think they just went to their break. I don't see a score posted yet. But Team Aubrey from Coyotes is up 2-0 over Camarena after three. Sheet two, we saw Tate steal one in the fourth, take a 4-2 lead over Team LeClaire. Both teams are from Coyotes. On sheet three, the other women's semifinal, it's been all Monsters so far, Team Monsters, as Burton with the Red Rocks from Coyotes has a 5-0 lead over Team Walsh from Bay Area. And Walsh has opted to blank the last two ends. So they blanked the third and the fourth, and they carried the hammer into the fifth. So they're looking for a multiple point score here, and we'll see if they're going to be able to get that. And so on sheet one, quick update going back to them. It looks like Aubrey added another single to their score in the fourth to go into the break with a 3-0 lead over Team Camarena. And then on sheet four, the defending champions, Team Siggins, is fighting in a fighting battle against Team McBride from Hollywood. Team McBride started with a hammer, got a single, was forced to one. Siggins was also forced to one in the second. And then McBride answered with a pair of deuces in the third and fourth end to take a 5-1 lead over McBride as Rocks are in play here in this fifth end on sheet four. Team McBride is playing with the Red Rocks. So lots of interesting games in play. We'll leave it here for a few minutes while we take a break, and we'll be back to the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns. It's a semifinal action here at San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. This broadcast is presented by authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. We'll be back. We are back to semifinal action here at the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns. This is your announcer Ryan with you as we are rejoining a very interesting game between Team LeClaire and Team Tate. This is the second route coming from Tate's lead, Sean Aronson. He's been curling for 7 years and was at the 2018 MoPac Club Nationals, finished as a runner-up, and was a 5 and under MoPac champion in 2019. I was at that Bondsville. He was also champion in 2022 and also the 25 and under champion last year in our first ever MoPac 25 and under. This stone goes into the house, kind of chips a LeClaire shot stone, pushes the LeClaire rock a little undercover, pushes it open a little bit too to the side. And so now Bob LeClaire has the hammer here in the fifth end of a possible 8, and calling for hack weight as he goes back to the hack, gesturing for LeClaire's lead, and that would be Tyler Caldwell. Coming out of the hat, Tyler. I think I'm looking at the wrong roster. I apologize. Claire calls the sweepers off. Looks like the lead is. We'll find that out. We have a lot of sheets of paper with a lot of information, which we definitely appreciate, but we also want to make sure we get the information right, so we'll double check that. So it looks like they were able to hit the yellow, push it to the back 8, but now Tate is going to go after that shooter, not the blue shoot, the blue shot stone in the top 8 foot. This is Josh Lewis with his first. Calling sweep. This rock is in a tricky position. It might over curl here. No one looks really good. It's going to get the blue. The shooter's going to roll across to the left wing of the house, settle in the 12 foot there. There we go. The lead for LeClaire is Danielson. So LeClaire sees a couple yellows in the house and is going to go after the shot stone. It looks like, yes, resting on the 8 foot here. It's kind of floating wide, so I think they're kind of calling it audible and going to go after the yellow on the 12 foot, the outer 12 foot. Nose hits it. So it's now Tate sitting 1, LeClaire with 2, and possibly third shot. It looks like Tate would like to exchange hits with LeClaire, asking Josh Lewis to take out, probably maybe roll a little bit would be good too. So it does get rid of the blue. The blue jams a little bit on the yellow shot stone. And actually, it works out for Tate as that shot stone rolls somewhat undercover. Looks like LeClaire wants to probably draw down to it. Kind of create some backing there as Jeff Bear throws his first. So it looks like it's going to be a little light as LeClaire jumps up to help sweep. Looks like they're trying to get it around that center guard there. They're going really hard at it, and it's going to fall just short of the rings. Um, could set something up later in the end, perhaps. But I really think they wanted to be in the house to be shot. As Tate puts the broom down, coming at it from the in-turn clockwise rotation. Vice Gary McKnight gets set here. I think looking for a draw to be essentially top 12 foot would probably be fine. Just to kind of sit another stone in the house and to be high enough to prevent any sort of backing for Leclerc to draw to. This weight looks pretty good. It is around the guard. It's around the other blue. It's going to come to rest in the top four, actually top button. So it looks like a really great shot there by Gary McKnight. And now Bob Leclerc needs to open up a path to the center of the house and the shot stones. So he's asking Fred Maxey to deliver here. Looked like a good release. Bear's sweeping it pretty hard. Needs to maybe make sure it hits it on the right side. Looks pretty good. It gets the center guards off the center line. The center yellow just moves to the side as a corner guard, and they lose both the shooter and the blue stone that was in the guard area. So now Baird wants to put the center guard back up and see if McKnight has the touch, as it were. So the caliber of plays has been really great all weekend long. It's been awesome to see, very experienced teams like a lot of these Coyotes rings here, and it's been great to see a lot of newer teams. When I was reading the bios of the teams playing in this event, there's a lot of players that the bios say they're playing either their first year or they have a lot of 5 and unders of experience, meaning they've been playing for 5 years or less. So it's really awesome to see how people are really taking to the sport in our region. And definitely hope if you have a chance, if you're not a curler, you found this broadcast, I hope you have a chance to come down to your local curling center, curling club, and check it out. This is Maxey's second shot, again on cleaning duty here. Sweepers are on it, need to hold the line. It looks like it's over curling a little bit. But it gets them both. Good shot. The shooter rolls partially under the corner guard, and nice set of shots by Fred Maxey there. Looks like Tate is trying to line up figure out what sort of shot to do. Looks like they're going to just kind of draw, perhaps, to the top 8 foot to be sitting to. Kind of see where Tate tapped the broom, kind of on the center line where this is the Ohlone land, the Ohlone and the land in between those two words. That's where he tapped. So. Sean Tate goes back to the hack. It sets. And it's great to see a mixture of shots here. Teams starting out, obviously, they tend to have a limited play selection. Here, against these top teams in the field, they have a lot of arrows in their quiver, as it were, and you do get to see them take out their arrows and place them upon their curling bow and loose them into the air. They're 44-pound arrows. So this looks pretty close to what Tate wanted. on the money or on the Aloni land, part of the house logo there. So it looks like Maxie's got the broom down for a double, trying to keep an open house, trying to manufacture a two right here with the hammer here in the fifth end. That would get them back into this game very solidly. And if they do the double, I think then, based on where the shooter ends up, it's possible there could be a double for Tate to go after, or it will be really interesting to see what happens. So this, again, another high-pressure shot for Bob Leclerc. Bit of a wobble out of the hat, but looks like he recovered. Line looks pretty good. It looks actually like it's hanging out a little bit, so they're just going to tick the guard away. Or not his guard, but they're going to tick the shot stone away. And so now I think Tate's just going to repeat the process, as it were, and put the stone back there. Excuse me a moment. It's still a tricky situation for Tate. It's looking good for Tate, but if he puts the stone back in the top center eight, and Leclerc makes this double, then Leclerc could be scoring 2 or 3. So it's kind of a tricky shot. I wonder if they could maybe go more to the wings or something, and maybe just force Leclerc for a single. But they are set up to try that draw. They might be trying to draw around those cornerish guards on the right side of this view. Let's see what Sean Tate has in mind for his final shot here in the fifth end. Wait, let's maybe a little on the heavy side. The sweepers were waiting. Now they're on it. Encouraging people to yell hard. It looks really close. It looks a bit on the light side, which could also be the miss there. But it looks like it also over curled, and so that does seem to be a miss, a slight miss though, but a miss nonetheless. Because now, as Leclerc holds the broom to the shot rock in the back 12-foot with kind of board weights, he could perhaps he wants to make sure the shooter sticks around, but he could chip that yellow out and be sitting 2. And again, looks like 3 on the wings there on the back right from this view. We had our second spam message in the chat for the weekend, so we've been doing really well, guys. Let's see here. So it looks like they're set up for a control weight or a heavy board. They said board up, so it sounds pretty good. Now calling for the front end to sweep. They're going at it really hard. Now calling, Massey calls them off. Looks really good. Danielson's on it. He's got the yellow's out. The shooter rolls to the back 12, and that looks like 3 there. 4, Bob Leclerc in his rink, taking that 3 spots to jump to a 5-4 lead here against Team Tate. This is turning into a Donnybrook, as they say. I never know who they is, but that is what they say. Just a fascinating end of play. We will be right back in just a moment when we return to the 2023 MoPac Men's and Women's Club Playdowns. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the action here at the semifinals. Uh, Quick run around the rings before we rejoin our feature sheets. All these scores, again, are on bondspieler.com. I said you can spell spider with Bondspieler, but you really can't. Bondspieler.com. So it looks like Aubrey stole another point in the fourth to take a 3-2 lead. Oh, okay. The score's been updated just very quickly as I was speaking. So Team Camarena is on the board in the fifth end here with a deuce, and so now they trail Team Aubrey 3-2. Aubrey's playing with Yellow Rocks. Sheet 2 is our feature game. Bob Leclerc with a triple there to jump ahead of Team Tate, 5-4. Leclerc Blue Rocks. Both teams are from Coyotes. Sheet 3, the second women's semifinal. It's all monsters. Team Burton from Coyotes, the defending women's champions. They are 7-0 up over Team Walsh. Walsh from the Bay Area and playing with Yellow Rocks. And then on sheet 4, the other defending champions, the men's champs, are facing themselves a bit of a bind as they trail Team McBride 6-1. McBride from Hollywood playing with the Red Rocks. So this is some tight games, some interesting outcomes, and we will definitely make sure we get back to these games as we can. So shifting back now to our feature sheet where rocks are in play here in the sixth end. Looks like Jeff Bear is pushing out a hat right now. The score is 5-4. Leclerc. Looks like they're just trading hits back and forth in the house. I would think Tate's trying to maybe look to get a double situation, an ability to score more than 1 point, double points. And Leclerc's just keeping a clean house to prevent Tate from scoring those multiple points. So it looks like they're trying to create a guard. This is the fifth rock in the end, so the guard zone rule comes off after this. Okay, so guard is up. Um, the five rock rule is up, but it looks like Leclerc is just going to put up a center guard, try and draw play into the rings now. In the background, you can see that there are clocks. The clock on our sheet is not working. Some sort of glitch. And because of that, there is no timing on this sheet for this game. Both teams are kind of on their honor to play a game and not lollygag. And it looks like they've been doing well so far. They've not been slow rolling this game, as it were. What also was not a slow roller was that shot from Barrett as it goes to the back of the house. Definitely going to bring play into the back, perhaps. Although it looks like Tate is choosing to ignore that shot for now. Josh Lewis asked to draw around the center guard. Looks like he ends up crashing on it and just puts up another corner guard there in the wings. So it looks like Leclerc is going to put another one in the house. He was looking on the other side of the ice and then quickly chose to switch sides, trying to follow a similar draw path to what Baird threw for his last. And this is Fred Maxey's first here in the sixth ends. Looks like it's got a little bit of weight on it. I think it might go a little deep as the sweepers kind of stopped and just kind of watched it go into the house. It's going to go deep, if not through. Tate puts on the weight of his broom and swoops into the back 12. And so now there is a tempting target for Tate to go after, if he so chose. He was looking at doing the corner again, and a little bit of traffic in the back of the house. Is choosing to go around the corner again. Interesting choice. Looking for 2 points here in this end against Leclerc. This is Gary McKnight's first. The dean of Team Tates with 33 years of curling experience. Choosing to go around the corner guard here. Looks like it's curling, though, really hard. And it looks a little light, so it's perhaps going to end up as another guard. As it whips off of the corner guard, it looks like they're checking the ice there to see if there's anything on there, perhaps. So now there's that right side of the sheet is pretty well covered, and it looks like it looks like Leclerc is asking Maxey to draw around that center guard. So similar shot to Maxey's last, less ice and less weight. And it looks like it was a burned stone. Unfortunate there. So that does change the complexion of the end as I'm going to guess it was a hog line violation. If we had replay, we'd go back and check. Just again, unfortunate there for Maxey and Team Leclerc. So the Tate is still loving going around those guards. I mean, there's definitely ports there for McKnight to draw into or draw past, and that is what Tate has dialed up for his vice as McKnight's last stone of this end is underway. Looks pretty good. These stones have been light and over curling, so we'll see if they got it dialed in this time. It looks pretty close. It looks like it's curling onto the yellow rock. Might get a little tap raise, and that is what happens. He does tap that yellow center guard into the house, biting the 8-foot, and is now shot rock. Interesting outcome there. Looks like looks like Leclerc is asking how much the front end can see from the delivery hack. Looks like they could kind of chip out that blue. That's where Leclerc has the broom down. That port is wider on that right side, so they're looking to perhaps hit the yellow on the right side there and roll undercover, looking to line up the shot there. Just looking for the right angle there. Maxey has the broom about almost a full stone's width to the right of the shot stone there as Leclerc scoots back from the house to see how the line looks, especially from the center from the hack. Don't know if they elected or not. It looks like now Barrett is coming down to talk it over. So it looks like they didn't like the line, and so now it looks like Leclerc is choosing to perhaps draw to the back or draw around all those guards and the shot stone. if he draws around effectively, he could put it onto the right or the bottom edge of the forefoot from this view. Um, and the stones do have shown they can curl up going this way, I think. I don't know if that's the right ice. You want to be covered. You want to be covered in this case, especially since it's Tate who has the hammer. My apologies. Tate has the hammer now with the broom down for Leclerc's first here in this end. And the shot's underway here. Redhead's going at it really hard. Matsy kneels down to get a better look at the path here. Looks like it looks like the line. It looks like it's curling up pretty well, but it looks like it's coming up a little light, perhaps. It's going to get around. Well, it doesn't get around anything. It gets into the house. Good enough for second shot, and it looks like it's a target for Tate to take out. He's looking at the angles too now. This is a shot where I think he would like to probably be on the left side of the blue rock. I think he's partially worried about maybe promoting the blue, perhaps. The issue is that if he hits it, like if he hits it right on the nose, if he hits it thick, it can probably jam on one of those blues in the back. I don't think it'll be enough to be shot stone. It could be shot stone. I think that's what they're really worried about. So I'm looking to see what they might be thinking here. They're looking to line out the single. I guess they're also kind of worried about if they hit it thin, it could jam on the yellow shot stone. Hit the yellow shot stone wide, and then blue would be sitting shot covered. So I think that's kind of what they were thinking. They've opted to hit it on the right side using an out-turn counterclockwise. Sorry, an in-turn clockwise rotation. In-turn clockwise. They would have to hit it really thin to jam on the yellow. So I think they're going to probably throw probably close to board weight. Maybe. I think board's probably pretty good because I think they could want to stick around. I think they're also perhaps worried about a double situation, depending on how high maybe the yellow ends up. Although that shot yellow is pretty well buried. Lots of factors to consider as Sean Tate gets set in the hack and delivers his first here in the sixth end. Now they're pushing for it to curl. Looks like it is going to hit on the thin side, but I don't think it's going to be bad. And indeed, it was not. The blue scoots by all those rocks safely with plenty of room to spare. The shooter rolls out. And so now Leclerc has a very similar shot to his first, probably maybe a little bit more weight, maybe a little less ice, I might think here, provided it gets around that center guard. But it's also a tricky situation because Tate is sitting one right now. And I'm curious about why Leclerc is not choosing to try and double those yellows out. But his shot's underway. Going for a draw. I think hoping to get undercover here to sit shot stone and force Tate to make takeout here. It's pretty close. Curling up pretty nicely. The weight looks better this time. Looks to be maybe a little heavy, actually. Danielson's trying to sweep it, trying to coach it over, and it comes to rest in the back forefoot. The back forefoot is actually back button. It looks to be about 60% open when you see it from the head-on view here. Tate, this is also a tricky shot because he needs to hit it just so that it doesn't jam in the back there. So this is a tricky place that Leclerc left his last. And we will see if Tate can bump that blue back and far enough so so that it brings that yellow shooter back into play. So here is Sean Tate's last here in the sixth. It's calling for line right now. Going really, really hard. This could be trouble. As they're enthusiastically yelling, it is close to that center guard. It is around the center guard, and it's going to just get that blue. Ah, beautiful there. So the blue kind of hits the blues in the back 12, but it rolls out of the scoring situation, and Tate scores 2 to retake the lead here in the sixth end, and is also controlling the even ends. We're going to be heading to the seventh here with LeClaire holding the hammer, down 1, and we'll be back in just a moment. All right, we are back. Before we rejoin our featured game, which has turned into a barn burner, we're going to check Bon Spieler for the latest action around the rings. And we have 2 finals in the books. The defending women's champions, Team Burton, the Monsters, have closed out Team Walsh from the Bay Area. Team Burton taking a 7-1 win to punch their ticket to the women's final coming up at 12:30. Here on the MoPac YouTube channel. And then on sheet 4, McBride from Hollywood scoring an upset, taking down the defending men's champions, Team Signals from Coyotes. McBride has a berth in the final, the men's final, with an 8-1 win there. So we're going to see McBride. We've seen a lot of McBride this weekend, and we're going to see him again one more time, this time playing for a spot in the Club Nationals. So the first 2 finalists are set. Again, that's going to be Team Burton in the women's game. They're going to be our feature sheet at 12:30. And then we're also going to see McBride in the men's final on the adjacent sheet coming up, again, at 12:30. So really interesting. And also super interesting, the other 2 semifinals are tight affairs. Team Camarena was a little slow to start, but they have they have come back to tie Aubrey from Coyotes. We're all tied at 3 here in the 7th after Camarena had a deuce in the 5th and then stole the 6th with a single. So some fascinating games, and we will definitely keep you appraised of the action on both of those sheets as we return to our feature game with the Rocks in play. We've had another lead change in the feature sheet game, and right now we have LeClaire down 6-5 against Team Tate, both teams from Coyotes. We're going to see here that looks to be the second lead stone coming from Tom Danielson. Gets the rock over the line there. Looks like it might be going into the house. And it does slip into the house. It's good for a third shot there as Tate wants to, I think, kind of draw into the pile, draw into the shot stone there. This is Tate's second there, Josh Lewis. looks like good line sweepers are on it. Looks like it might be over curling. I don't know if it's going to get into the house here. Actually, from the overhead, it looks better than I thought, but it looks like it's going to chip off the blue there and spill into the house. So not a bad outcome there. It is good for a second shot. So now it is Leclerc sitting 1-4 in the house, and Tate has 2-3. And so it looks like Leclerc would like to do a little bit of a hit and roll. Gentle weight here. They don't want to, roll too far through the center of the house here. So it looks pretty good here. Going to hit and roll into the center of the house. That was a nice hit and roll there by Jeff Baird. Great shot. We've seen some great shots all around this game, and it might only be getting better here. We will have to see what happens. As Aronson comes down to look things over with a skip, it's a tricky situation. They're perhaps going to try and clean house, and it is Leclerc with the hammer here in this end. It is the seventh end. There's one game where I just totally missed an end in terms of the switching here, but I got it this time. They're thinking it over. It's a tricky situation here for Tate. I think they're kind of looking at running the blue onto the yellow there. Perhaps, actually, I think Tate's actually looking to hit the yellow on the right side. Get the blue that's sitting second shot, rolling out across the house. They're probably going to lose the first yellow, but it does start to reduce some of the counters. So that does seem to be the shot that's been called for his second, Josh Lewis. This is going to be an interesting situation here as the shot's underway. Called sweep right away. Plan B might just be to hit the blues and just kind of move them around, and that seems to be what happened here. And not too bad of an outcome, actually. So I'm not sure that's exactly the shot they called, but it really worked out for them as it does open things up in the center here. Blue is still shot, but there is that yellow can be run back pretty easily. And so it looks like Leclerc is thinking about maybe putting a blue on top of the yellow there. If it goes across the face, then Tate couldn't really use that rock to run back the rock. So this is Jeff Baird, and I believe it's his second year. No, we'll see if it's his second. Looks pretty good. Maybe coming up a little light here. That's also not a bad outcome. What's perhaps not the greatest outcome is that it over curled slightly. So now it looks like Tate still has that run back, and that is what he's looking at right now. So looking for a run back from his vice, Gary McKnight. This is McKnight's first here. So serving for line. Now trying to push it over, it looks like. Looks pretty close here. Just I think a little. I don't think it curled in the end because it basically hit the yellow stone over shot stone, and then the shooter rolled rolled out of play. They weren't going to keep the shooter anyway, I think. But now Leclerc is sitting 3, holding the hammer, and looking to try and cash in on this tripod or this trio of stones in the house. I don't think there's an Inigo Montoya in the offering, but you never know. They're looking it over here. I think perhaps they could guard the right side just to make sure the shot stone's protected, and then kind of force Tate to either draw in or try a really long run back. They're looking on the other side of the sheet than we've been playing on. I think he's looking at playing on this left side of the sheet, the bottom side of the sheet. That makes sense actually. Because the shot stone is partially covered, and so if Tate were to try and go after shot stone, they could get rid of shot stone, but then the shooter would roll out or roll wide. In any case, it probably wouldn't be shot. So it looks like they're going to try and draw to the other side to be kind of top 12, I would think. This is Fred Maxey's first here in the 7th. We are playing 8-end games. The games are timed, but this one is not. If it was a timed game, the teams would have one 90-second timeout to think things out. This, I think, looks close. Now they're sweeping it. Needs to. I think they want to make sure that it gets into the house here. It looks like it's going to be pretty close, and it does get into the house. It makes contact on the blue, and the 12-foot rolls open. And so Tate's kind of looking to see what he can do with that. He could maybe try and do like a double, the angles are pretty thin, and there's probably a chance it could jam. So I don't know if I don't know if that's really in the cards there. He could also just try just the double anyway. Like he's kind of gesturing on the inside of that blue that Maxey just threw, and so if he hits it and it kind of rolls to the other blue, and kind of pushes the other blue to the side. I don't think it's a true double necessarily, just based on the angles here. It is an interesting situation here. I don't know if anyone in the chat has an idea of what they might want to do here. It's always interesting to see what sort of shots that the other people might see. So Leclerc has the hammer here. Someone's looking in, so I'm just seeing if the person viewing has an idea of what they might want to do. It's let's see here, 1 second. Oh no, this is McKnight's last. So so the person looking here says to run back. That was always on the table. It looked kind of tricky to me, but if they get the rocks moving, though, yeah. So someone suggested a run back in the warm room here. The broom's down for McKnight's first. Very tricky shot all around. I think they're looking to kind of hit the stone that Leclerc just threw, kind of roll in, and I'll see what develops. Looks like it's hanging out a little bit wide, perhaps. Okay, so they did do the double, and it looks like good shot there. So got the double, lost the shooter. Leclerc sitting 2 still, and but a really great shot there, a really great outcome for Gary McKnight and the Tate rink. So it looks like Leclerc is going to draw again with Maxey's last here in the end. Then we're at the Stipstones. Games are developing pretty quickly here as Maxey delivers his shot. There's a little bit more chatter in the warm room as teams come off the ice. But it's just kind of a good sign of how this event's gone. So swooping now, it looks like a little bit more weight, just a smidge more weight than the last one. They want to make sure they get around the center guard. It looks like they're around the blue, partly around. So now Leclerc again is sitting 3, and now it looks like Tate is kind of looking at maybe running the blue back. Um, this is shaping up to be a very tricky scenario for Tate. Let's take a peek in on sheet one. I'm going to take a peek into sheet one, and we'll be back to the action on sheet two in just a moment. But lots of rocks in play on sheet one. It's a tie game, I believe. Yes, all tied up with Camarena scoring 3 in the last 2 ends to tie things up. Camarena is sitting 2 in the house, and it looks like they're drawing. So it looks like Aubrey's kind of chasing here in the 7th. So a pretty fascinating situation. It looks like they have worked to skip stones here. So let's stay with us for a moment while Tate figures out his shot as they're still thinking on the other side of the ice. This looks to be Adriana Camarena's first. Sweepers are on it, planning here. It looks pretty good for a guard. They don't want it to over curl, or it looks like it's going a little deep, so they may be tapping it back here. It turns out to be close to a corner free, so we'll definitely try and get back to this game. But in the meantime, it does look like that Sean Tate has decided what he wants to do here, and it looks like he is, I think, looking to draw. So a pretty interesting scenario here for Sean Tate, facing 3, looking to try and change that up, holding on to a 1-point lead. He has a 1-point lead, and if Leclerc scores here, Tate would have the hammer coming home. So that's not a bad outcome, but still a pretty rocky situation here for Sean Tate. It looks like it might be coming up maybe a little light here. Actually, the weights from the overhead's okay. Yelling hard. Looks like he's going to get past 1. Crashes on the blue in the top 12. And is good for second shot and could set up like a run back there. So I think that's a really good outcome there for Sean Tate and his rink. It looks like Leclerc is lining up a double. He looks to maybe be trying to double out his. He wants to get rid of the Yellowstone, but it might be at the cost of his blue. I say double. That could be a bad outcome, but I think they're probably going to try and nose hit because I think they could from this overhead, if they hit it right on the nose or maybe curl just a little past the face, they could hit it straight through the back of the house. And I think that is the shot that they have dialed up here for Bob Leclerc with his first in the hammer. Looking over on sheet 1, they have called a timeout, and they're looking over their options here. And this is Leclerc's first. Looks pretty close. They just want to hit it right on the nose, just past the face, and look at that. It does go and jams on the back, so the yellow did stick around, but Leclerc is still sitting 2, maybe 3, and so now I think Tate is possibly looking at maybe just trying to get rid of some of these blue counters, maybe giving up a double here, giving up a deuce. Just a kind of a fascinating situation here. Looks like shifting back to sheet 1 here. Looks like Camarena scored a deuce. So I'll shift back to 1 just to show the first rock. This first rock's going to go a little heavy here, but it looks like it's hanging onto the back of the house by the nails. The stone has nails here. So our Bonspieler says, oh yes, and I can see from the scoreboard there, Camarena jumped up with a 3 spot there to take a 3-point lead heading into the final, and it's 6-3 Camarena now over Team Aubrey. We will definitely try to get back to that game. Just a fascinating turnaround by Camarena over Team Aubrey from Coyotes. Shifting now back to our feature sheet here, and Tate's talking about it. Brings up Lewis here to look it over, and there's not necessarily a lot of good choices here. I think Aronson is kind of looking over at the left side here. I think they might be trying to do like a slash double. So just to the people watching the game, oh yeah, the ice tech's there, so we're good. They are talking it over. This could be the game here, folks, because if Tate doesn't get rid of, I think, 2 of these Leclerc stones, it could be a triple for Leclerc to take a 2-point lead coming home. It wouldn't be game over, definitely not that, but it definitely would leave Tate facing a tough scenario coming home in the 8th end. They're talking it over some more. I think they're maybe looking at, so they were looking at the left side of the sheet, and now they're looking at the right side of the sheet here to see what they could do. I'm curious about what angle they think works best for them. Curling being a game of chess, often there's some comparisons to pool just based on lines and angles there. Coming in, maybe you want to join the booth?
Sure.
Okay, coming in on the booth here is my oval curling companion, compadre. It's on mute right now, but when you clip, go ahead and put it on. So a pretty interesting situation, but they got broomed down. They were looking at the left side of the house, and now they've opted to look at the right side, and that's the shot that Tate has called. I think they're going to try and double those blues out, but this is going to be a tough shot there.
Yeah, very, very tough situation to be in right now. I mean, ideally it would be nice to get the triple, but a double is definitely there.
Well, also now that Tate's in the hack, he's looking it over,
Yeah.
and so this as Trevor saw when he came into the club, this game is not being timed. This has been probably the most talked about shot of this game, but they've been playing pretty quickly. So
Yeah, I was just looking at the clock and I was like, what's the time? And there were some technical difficulties, and so it's like, oh, they've got time.
So when Tate got back to the hat, he was looking it over again. He's okay with what they have, and so that is the shot that he's choosing. Here it is. This is a key shot for Tate here in the 7th. Swooping hard for a line. It's going to be, I think it's going to wreck on the guard.
Oh.
And this, oh, mercy me. Goodness my, I'm using all these British euphemisms. Mercy me.
No.
Tar Nation. I shouldn't be chuckling, but that was a very unfortunate miss. And so now we're not sure who third shot is, and they're taking a look over who's third shot. Also, like we've been talking in these games, these houses aren't exactly entirely, the rings aren't entirely accurate. They're stretched. I think they're stretched towards along the tee line though. Along the center line, I think they are accurate. So,
Yeah.
but the overhead camera is not entirely precise. So we don't know who third shot is. Curious to see if Leclerc does. So Leclerc is kind of looking at tapping in, but he has Matsy has the broom down on the outer 12-foot, looking to do an intern clockwise rotation. I think just a draw for 4, and there's all they really need to do is a full 12-foot to take 3. I think 4. We'll see how it goes. What do you think, Trevor? Do you think it was 3 or 4?
No, I mean, ideally he's going to go for 4. See if he can just lock up the game and just make it an easy win for him. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this game has turned quite quickly.
Oh, it did. It's been going back and forth.
And this is Bob Leclerc with his last, holding the hammer, holding a 3 right now, holding 2 right now, looking for 3 or 4. We don't want to assume they have points they don't have. So calling sweep really hard.
Looks like they could.
They
Clip
may
off
have
that
pulled the
front
string
one
on this.
And roll both of them in.
They pulled the
Oh.
string on
Oh,
this.
they'll get 3. There's their third.
Yeah, so definitely 3. No need for a measure. That was kind of curious. That may have been the plan. Just that, well, Bob kind of snapped his fingers, kind of saying "darn" or "shoot," or some Scottish euphemisms that we dare not mention. But that's the 3 spot for Team Leclerc to take a pretty strong 8-6 lead here into the 8th end. So just a sudden turn of events. This has been a back and forth game, all game long. We're going to switch to sheet 1 to kind of see how that game is going, and looks like a pretty open house here for Aubrey to try and score 3 to tie. Looking at sheet 1 real quick, just to note really quickly, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lead changes in this game.
Wow.
On sheet 2. So it's been a totally back and forth affair. It's been a barn burner. So very glad you guys have been able to tune in. We're going to keep an eye on sheet 2, but we're watching sheet 1 right now. We're going to go back to sheet 2 in just a moment. We're going to pull a TSN and skip lead stones on sheet 2. And I love playing lead, so I was like, oh man, why do they always skip lead stones? Like, this is why we're skipping lead stones.
No, I want to see them all. I want to see them all played.
Yeah. This is Aubrey. So Camarena is her 3rd is delivering now. We're almost to skip stones. We might want to stick with sheet 1 game to the end, just because we're very close to the end here. And so we might want to see how this game turns out, because also Camarena might run Aubrey out of stones. So tips the guard aside. That's a pretty good shot. Yeah, sorry, Micah. And I play lead. I know what it's like. This is my world.
Well, and leads can either make or break an end. So, it's kind of funny, because one of the things I've heard is, skips have to make some very important shots, but I've also heard that your lead also has an important role of making great shots. And if they can set up some really good guards, you're setting up a good, successful end, where if they miss their shots, hog it, throw it through, well, then it's going to be a little harder for the team to kind of catch up. So leads are important, Ryan, right?
No, like I said, I agree. I've said that the lead is the second most important position on the team.
Yep. For sure.
This is a shot being delivered by Aubrey's 3rd. So they're sitting 2 right now. Pardon me. Yep. Pull up the bios. So Aubrey's 3rd was Luba Brock, and then for Camarena that was subs. That was Subastika Tandrodry. She goes by subs, and that's what we call her. So basically, Aubrey has 2 stones remaining. They're sitting 2, and they need at least 3 to tie, 4 to win. So Camarena, with their first, just needs to do some cleaning action. And Camarena could be viewed as a bit of a giant killer, because she defeated the defending champions, Team Burton, the Monsters, in pool play, and that's how Camarena secured the top seed into the semifinals. And so it looks like her shot's away. It looks like it's going to make contact. Got 1. Is it going to be 2? Oh, so close. So net stone coming from Aubrey here. Gonna check in briefly on the other sheet just to see how it's going. Not to totally ignore our feature game. Looking on the feature game, Leclerc holding a 2-point lead. They're sitting 2 in the house right now. Just gonna kind of poke over to that just to kind of show you the house. Looks like they're probably 2 second stones right now, and shot coming in here from Leclerc. I think they're just going to put up a guard, perhaps, and then it looks to be a guard there, or maybe it looks like it's coming to the house.
A little heavy.
It's coming to the house. So they're just basically kind of forcing Tates and Tate Stones to do takeoffs and stuff. So that's definitely a strategy. Actually, this might be something I could do in my league, because So I've tried the cleaning game where it's like just clean the house and then you miss a takeout and all of a sudden you're chasing and stuff. So looking here, this is Debbie Aubrey's first, and this needs to stick around to have a chance. So it looks like it's going to, I think tapping I don't think they wanted to get the red out entirely, but that is what happens. So now this is going to Camarena's last stone here in the end. Aubrey's sitting 2, hoping for a miss, because if Camarena were to miss, then Aubrey has a chance to tie.
Yep.
So this is a key shot for Camarena. It just needs to get 1 out of play. That's all she needs. Yep. And then she will have punched her ticket to the final and a rematch against the team that she beat during pool play, Team Burton. So I'm feeling tense. I'm feeling the pressure in here, and I'm not even on the ice. So let's see what Adriana Camarena can do here.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe as she's hitting this stone at the top of the house, they might get the double. From the way the broom was held, and
it looks really
like
good.
From the weight,
it looks really good to punch it out. So it's going to get 1, and it's just going to punch it out.
Got it out.
And that is going to be handshakes.
Handshakes all around.
On sheet 1, Team Camarena secures the comeback and the upsets as she wins 6-3 over Team Aubrey. Or 6 to, yeah, that's how it scored, 6-3. So just a great game on sheet 1. And now we're going to shift our focus back to our feature sheets, where Tate has the room down for the next shot here, being delivered by Josh Lewis. Put the women's biographies away, did the men's biographies back up. 1 second. Just a lot of lots of things in motion here. So so it looks like the play has shifted a bit. We saw LeClaire holding 3 in the house, and Tate did do some cleanup, and now it's shifted. So interesting turn of events here in this game overall. Now LeClaire is looking to try to maybe do a double, keep that clean house. There is that shooter. There's a blue LeClaire in the left 12-foot there. Not a factor right now. But we are to Vice Stones. This is the first coming from Fred Maxey, former Briar competitor. He's throwing the heat. Going to maximize his shot there. It looks close. It looks like it might be over curling a little bit. Gets 1.
Yeah.
And not a bad miss. But they had a chance to get the double. Now Tate's looking to split the house, split the rings. What are you thinking about this scenario here?
Oh, yeah, Tate needs to get at least 2. So, try to see if he can get 1 in play that's not easily knocked out, and see what he can do.
So this is Gary McKnight's first here. So we have 3 former Canadians playing here, at least on the sheet. Gary McKnight went to the Northern Ontario Tankard, which are the playdowns for the province to get into the Briar. So
very nice.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So I think maybe the competition is a little stiffer in Northern Ontario.
That stone didn't curl as much as I think they were hoping it.
But it accomplishes its mission, though, of
That's true.
splitting the rings.
Splitting the rings,
so now,
no double there.
LeClaire, it's a little high up, and so I think LeClaire is maybe thinking about hitting the shot stone in the 4-foot there, or biting the 4-foot and rolling across to come to rest on
Getting
top
closer to
of
that
the
yellow.
other yellow.
Yep.
It's a tricky shot, but we've seen from both teams that they're capable of making those shots. So
Yeah.
here comes the next one from Fred Maxey.
Looks like it's gonna
it might nose.
Yep.
Still not bad. It rolls a little wide, so now it's a question of who shot. It looks to be yellow just based on the rings. Like there's like these yellow half circles. And
Yep.
so based on the yellow half circles, it looks yellow.
Yeah,
And it looks
I
like
concur.
Tate's going for it. The blue shooter that just was there. So this game's not on the clock, so they can take as long as they want to finish this game. It's the last game on the ice, though, so things might get frosty.
That's the way to do a semifinal game, right? Not even worry about time.
And they've been playing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So this is Derek McKnight's last here. Looking for a takeout. I think looks like looking for a double, perhaps. So he's going to hit.
Don't go through that
oh.
board. Oh, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So not the. I'm sure not what they wanted necessarily.
Probably not.
Not a bad outcome. It looks like Leclerc's got the broom on the right side of the sheets. I think he might be trying to maybe like hit and maybe roll towards the other yellow, just because he doesn't want to hit and stick and leave a double.
Yep.
So I think he wants some roll to at least So if he kind of rolls it, even kind of parallel to the other one, Tate can't easily get it out.
Yeah. Even if they did hit and stick, that's not the worst thing in the world, because even if Tate were to hit the double, I don't know if his shooter would stick around to get the two. So, but you know what? These are the first of the skip stones.
That's correct.
Yeah, so never mind. Things can there's still playable options.
Well, the scenario for Leclerc is to.
It's wide.
It is wide. Interesting. Let's see here.
Oh, wow. It might jam into their own blue.
It does jam. Oh no, this is
and
disaster.
they don't sweep it out. Oh, wow. Looks like yellow's sitting two.
Yellow, it does appear to be sitting two. So this is
favor for Tate.
what a turn! Like even in this end alone, we've gone from us looking Leclerc, Tate's in control.
Yep.
Now a miss. That looks like Tate. Looks like Leclerc can take control. And now the pendulum is swung the other way.
Yep.
Oh my goodness me!
That's the fun thing about curling.
Ah.
How are you doing?
So Tate's looking at. I think they're trying to find the best way. At this point, I think they're going to go for the win because they're sitting two. They look to be sitting two. I don't like the one in the back could be blue, but it looks yellow to me. I think they're trying to go for the win. I think they're looking for three, looking to end it here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Try to set it up where Leclerc can't knock two of them out.
Yeah. So coming up at 12:30, we're going to have our finals. We're going to have the men's final between Team McBride upsetting Team Sidens from Coyotes, and then the winner of this game. And then on our feature sheet, our TV game is going to be a rematch of pool play. Team Camarena, who upset Team Burton in pool play. So we'll see that live at 12:30. Please do join us then.
Yes.
Check your local
Absolutely.
listings. So it looks like he's doing the intern clockwise. And so I think looks like he's drawing to the 8 foot on the right side here.
Just need it in the house, just to make things complicated for Leclerc. They're all sweeping.
It looks
sweepers.
close. I think it's going to touch.
Oh, get in.
Oh, it doesn't get in.
Oh, that's very hard to tell. I mean, it looks like it's a nibbler. Is that what they call like a super thin fighting
a
stone?
nibbler.
A nibbler?
I mean, I've called them nibblers. So.
Oh my goodness, that was close. Yeah, I definitely don't want a guard. You want something in the house.
So I'm curious about what Leclerc wants to do here. What's your first thought?
What's my first thought? Well, based on the way Maxi is holding the broom, they definitely want to get rid of that yellow and probably roll to the center and then give Tate a little bit of a harder shot.
Yeah.
Kind of put some pressure on him to, hey, can you get rid of my stone, or, are you gonna flash your hitter, and yeah, we've seen a couple of those already, so a couple of some blunders, accidental, and not intentional, obviously.
This is a huge key shot for Bob Leclerc here. I think he's going to try and hit and roll, especially across the yellow on the back of the house. So it has to be on the money. Sweeping hard all the way. It's curling. I think it's going to curl pretty close to it. Going to hit. It's going to roll just about a stone. So this is a fascinating situation. So I think they could be trying for a double here.
Yep.
Because if they try, at least get rid of the shot stone,
Yeah.
and then hopefully hit the. They don't want to jam. If they jam, it's game over.
Yep.
That is tricky there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, and the angles are just right where if they were to hit it, they could have a small roll. Yeah, try to double those out, a small roll to the center, but yeah, try to secure the two to tie up and go to an extra end. I think this is the most exhilarating shot, the most thrilling shot right now. So let's see if Tate can pull it through.
Lots of pressure. They were talking about it when Tate got back into the hack. I think at least looking for two to tie to force the extra ends. Sweeping hard.
Oh, he's on the outside. He needs to curl a little more.
Well, I think they were looking for the double.
That's what that is. Yep.
Got one,
There it is.
got
There
two.
it is. Wow.
And that might be for the win.
Yeah. Wow.
That
they
is
got
for the
they got
win.
the three. Amazing.
Holy cow.
Wow. Well, one thing's for sure, we're not going to have a rematch that we saw last year. Leclerc's not going to play Siggins, so
Yeah.
looks like it may be Tate.
Yeah.
Tate versus McBride.
What a finish.
Wow.
And they
What a
knew
great
that shot, that nibbler was nibbling. That was gliding.
Yeah,
so.
it had to have been.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, it's got to be super close. But man, 3 sweepers on it. Like, good for them for getting that in. Because if that ended up being a guard, then we'd be going into an extra end right now.
Yeah. My goodness. So that trading triples in the last 2 ends.
Wow.
Leclerc jumped ahead by 2 points.
Yep.
And Tate, cool as a cucumber, answered with a triple of his own to take the win.
Wow.
And punched his ticket to the final.
Yeah, great shot. Great shot.
So coming up at 12:30, the men's final is going to be Team Tate of Coyotes taking on Team McBride from Hollywood. They are going to be on sheet 3. Our feature game is going to be the women's final, featuring the Team Camarena, one of the surprises of this tournament from San Francisco Bay Area, taking on the Monsters, defending champions, Team Burton of Coyotes.
Oh, it's going to be an exciting game, folks.
Totally. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We will be back. We're going to have all the action for you at 12:30. So please do tune in then. And so for now, for all of us here at San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club, MoPac, this has been Ryan with Trevor. Yep. Saying so long.